Spring is calling in Newport, and there's so much happening in May. There's Bloom Newport, a family-friendly spring festival that brings color and community to town, the Newport Marathon, a crowd favorite known for its vast scenic course, and the always amazing Oregon Coast Aquarium is also expanding and opening its brand new Amazon rainforest exhibit, not to mention all the seafood you could possibly want, but just not at the aquarium. That's separate. Start planning your May getaway to the coast at discovernewport.com/spring. That's discovernewport.com/spring.
The International School of Portland is celebrating its 35th birthday this year. It's one of only 2 schools in the entire United States that has 3 full language immersion programs under one roof, teaching in Chinese, Japanese, and Spanish. It's also the first school in the Pacific Northwest to offer the renowned International Baccalaureate Primary Years program. They're now enrolling students from preschool to 5th grade for fall of 2026. Sign up for a personal tour at intlschool.org.
This is Your City Could Be Better, because it could be. I'm David Plotz. If you love your city and still complain about it, you're in the right place. Nikki Devon, what is the most absurd Austin housing story you've heard?
I have 2 couple friends that bought a house with another couple. So that's 6 people in one house. Now, I don't know how they broke down the ownership. That's not my business. But because the city is so expensive, that seemed like the most logical way to buy a house.
Does everyone get their own room?
I don't think so. It's not a big house. It's like 2,300 square foot, and they all live in it together. And it's been years.
Wow.
They're making it work. They don't always show up to friend gatherings at the same time. So I imagine that they're struggling, but they own a house, evidently.
So Austin, Texas is a housing paradox. The city has grown absurdly fast, and it has a massive shortage of housing for everybody, but especially for middle and lower income people. At the same time, it has also built more affordable housing than any other American city. In 2024, it built 4,600 units of affordable housing. And by some measures, it's building 50% more affordable housing than the next best American city. So how is it doing that? And why is that not enough? I am joined by the host of CityCast Austin, Nikki Devon, to talk about how Austin is doing something slightly better than most cities, which are doing it horribly. So welcome to Your City Could Be Better, Nikki.
What's up, David? How are you?
I'm good.
Good.
So tell me about the new affordable units in Austin. How big are they? Are they nice? And compare them to the really swanky new apartments that have also gone up by the tens of thousands in Austin. So if you've added 4,600 affordable house units in 2024, you added tens of thousands of these fancier market rate apartments.
Yeah. Genuinely, it depends. Typically, they are exactly like other apartments in the building, but smaller and more basic. When you start thinking about remodeling of old buildings, you get the most basic of remodels. So I'm in an affordable unit, right? I'm a part of Smart Housing in Austin. And in my building, the only affordable unit is my unit, which is 599 square feet, which I love. I love it. But if you look at housing that has more options, like more 2-bedrooms, it's kind of the same. It's just a nice basic apartment, no bells and whistles, but you get all these amenities of an apartment building. So you get a gym, or you get I have a cute little rooftop area that I love to go to, right? That you wouldn't be able to get. And I live in the center of town. So it's like it comes with its perks, even though my place is tiny, tiny, tiny. But then when you talk about the swanky apartments, they're just next level. It's like higher ceilings, better amenities. They have concierge, rooftop infinity pools, skyline views, state-of-the-art fitness centers, yoga studios, dedicated co-working spaces. There is a clear divide between the two. But I will say, the affordable units that I've been in are nice.
So basically, they're nice, they're smaller, a little bit less on the amenities, but still totally you can live there.
Yeah, you can live there. And honestly, It also depends on where you live, right? Of course, too. So where I live, my affordable unit, and I'm putting this in heavy, heavy quotation marks, is $1,400 for 599 square feet. Now, to me, that is a steal. But when I tell other people, they're like, what? Like people that have mortgages that only pay like $1,500 for a house, they're like, you pay how much for $599? But I love it. I love it.
Well, actually, let's compare it. So you can use yourself as an example, or you can talk about the city as a whole. But when you talk about what the rent is for an affordable unit compared to a market rate unit. So if you're paying $1,400, what might a market rate unit in your building cost?
The unit that's most comparable to my unit, its market rate is $1,854 a month. It's about 100 square foot larger, but it's still a small apartment, $1,854. Now, if you go up to like 700 square feet, $750, you're getting into the $1,900, $2,000 range easily.
Okay, so you have a discount of, $400 or $500 a month for having this smaller unit. And is that sort of comparable to what you think other people are seeing for their affordable units?
No, I don't think so. I think that because of where I am, because I'm so close to Central, mine is a little more expensive. So you can, a huge percent, I would say most of the affordable housing is on the east side. We call it the Eastern Crescent. It's heavily gentrified. But even in the east side, certain parts are more desirable. So you can have efficiencies as low as $700 a month if you go further out. But those are usually less than 500 square feet. The further away from the center you get, the cheaper it is. But closer in, you're just going to pay a little bit more. So I'm on the upper end.
So, Nikki, of course, and we can get into some of the reasons Austin has a affordability crisis, but you are doing something a bit better than other cities, which is that you are actually getting these units built. You may need more than 4,600 affordable units, but at least you're getting 4,600 units built,
right,
which most cities aren't. So how is Austin getting these units built when other cities can't manage to get anything built?
We are coming up with really inventive and interesting ways to work with developers. We're giving developers what they want. It's really easy for you as a developer to come in and have influence in the city. And so that's how we're getting stuff done. We're bending the rules. We're coming up with things like the home initiative. Like that's how we're able to get it done.
Okay, talk about some of the ways you're bending the rules. So what's a way that a developer might be able to get something in Austin that maybe they can't in my hometown?
So the main thing that I think really, really caters to developers, and you were going to ask me about this, is affordability unlocked. That's just like the big thing. It incentivizes.
That's in capital letters, by the way. Affordability unlocked. It's a program.
It's a program that incentivizes developers to build affordable housing. All they have to do is agree to set aside 50% of their units for income restricted or affordable houses to rent or purchase. And they get reduced restrictions. They ease development burdens. So we have developmental regulations on parking. They ease those. Height limits, they ease those. You can get increased density. You can put more in smaller spaces. You get a reduction in minimum lot sizes. You get setback requirements. So that means you don't have to deal with no build zones, right? Like they give these incentives. So it's like, okay, listen, you can come in and you can do whatever you want. But 50% of what you build has got to go to affordable housing. And not just that, it has to go to affordable housing forever. Not forever, but for renters, it's for 40 years. So this stuff has to stay affordable for 40 years. For buyers, 99 years. So for 99 years, this has to remain affordable. You can't get your deal and then bounce out and change your mind in 5 years. It's like stuff like that. It's like not only are they agreeing to kind of be a little lax on regulations, they're also locking down generational affordable housing.
That's great. I mean,
Yeah.
And developers are finding it worth their while. They'll be like, okay, well, because I can move so fast, I can build something bigger.
Exactly.
Don't need to worry about parking.
Exactly. And with stuff like this, if we're being honest, like without the affordability unlocked, people will just never be able to buy a house in the city, period, point blank. That's it.
You also mentioned the home initiative. What is that?
Right. So the home initiative is actually
Also in capital letters.
I was just going to say that.
HOME.
I was was about to say that. Home. And it's been really controversial because it's zoning that allows homeowners to add additional units on their property, right? So more density in single family lots. Now, phase one was to allow more units per lot. So you can build that little shack in the back. We call them granny flats. ADU in the back of your house, you can build that for your grandma or whatever. But then phase two went a step further and it reduced the minimum lot size from 5,750 square feet. And sometimes in other places, 10,000 square feet was considered a single family lot down to 2,000 square feet. And so it's like you can add smaller, more affordable, in quotation marks, missing middle housing options. You can subdivide your lots. You can add a family member onto your lot. They can move in. The first 6 months, the city says applications suggested there was like 300 units of housing that were going to be added to what's available. So it's not instant, but it's pretty quick, affordable housing. People hated it though, because they're like, what about you? If you put another person in your backyard, they can see into my backyard. There was all this weird stuff about people looking at each other's backyard. It was all very interesting and silly, but it passed because people want more options to get, even if you're not building a place for a family member, that's more income. That's more income for you. You can build something in the back, you can rent it out.
Spring home buying season is back in Portland. That home you're in love with, the Portland bungalow with room for garden beds in the backyard and easy access to the Max line, it's fetching multiple offers. If you are in the market anywhere in the Portland metro area and feel like your offers aren't getting accepted, talk to James Adair at Neo Home Loans powered by Better. James has spent more than 20 years helping Portland families get their offers accepted. And he's put together a list of 12 specific ways to improve your offer. He calls it the unfair buyer advantage. You don't need more offers. You need one that wins. Download his free playbook at unfairbuyeradvantage.com. That's unfairbuyeradvantage.com. James Adair, NMLS 272766 with Better Mortgage Corporation. NMLS 330511, an equal housing lender.
Hi, CityCast listeners. This is David Plotz. I'm the CEO of CityCast, but I also have another job. I'm one of the hosts of the Political Gabfest, Slate's politics podcast. Every week, I get on mic with my co-hosts Emily Bazelon and John Dickerson, and we talk about politics and a lot more about other things that we care about. The Gabfest has been going for more than 20 years because the three of us love talking to each other, and we have an amazing community of listeners. If you like the open-hearted, curious way CityCast approaches cities, I think you'll like the Political Gabfest too. Stream it on YouTube or wherever you get your podcast. The other interesting thing about Austin is, so you are doing pretty well with affordable housing, although as you've said, there's not nearly enough. People are still getting priced out. You're also building a lot of other housing. So whenever I go to Austin, I go to Austin maybe once every 2 years. And whenever I go, I'm like, this city looks totally different because there's a whole bunch of new buildings here. I just don't even recognize where I am because there's new buildings that have gone up. Why is it that in Austin, and I think in Texas generally, they're just able to build all kinds of housing more?
Well, I think we have more space, which sounds like kind of, silly response, but it does. You have more space to work with. We're just bigger. Texas is huge. And for the most part, a lot of our land is kind of sprawling. That's why everybody has a car. And in Austin, we don't have very good public transportation either. So it's like everything is big, everything is sprawling. So what you can do is you create a VMU, right? A vertical mixed use. Then you can build it high. You can have retail at the bottom and you got housing on top. And then on top of that, developers, they get incentives to do that. You can build a little higher if you make affordable units. It's like just all this space and room to do crazy different things. So you could do hyper dense stuff downtown, or you can go a little to the east, a little to the south, and you got more to work with. And that's what they're doing. There's just more space and room to work with.
I'm also interested in your response to this, which is that, and I imagine you're going to be a little bit skeptical. I also think The fact is that Texas is a very pro-business state
Mm-hmm.
and a very Republican state for the most part, though not in Austin. And it's a state where generally if people want to do something as a business venture, Texas is like, go ahead. You just go ahead and do it in a way that in bluer states doesn't happen as easily. How much of that do you think is contributing just to the ability of things to get built and made, which happens in Texas faster than it does in New York City?
Ooh. I mean, David, okay. I do think that part of what you're saying is correct. Yes, Texas is very business minded. We like money. We like business. We like to spend money. We like to be the biggest and the baddest. That is true. It's very, very true. And we're proud of that. There's this pride in the way we do business. But I also think that alongside of that, and this sounds counterintuitive, we care a lot about what our outward appearance is. And so it's like, yes, we are about money. Yes, we care about building, build, bigger, bigger, bigger. But we don't want to seem like, we're these crass, Republican-owned place that only cares about big business. We want to seem like we like family and togetherness, and we're kind, we're Southern, we're friendly. So it's like there's this dichotomy between what you're saying, because I know it's right, but the Texan in me wants to be like, no, absolutely not. We're very friendly, and we want everybody to have the American dream, but that's just not true.
But you can want everyone to have the American dream and be very friendly. I mean, that's in a way, it's saying like, let's build it. If we build it, people are going to move here. I mean, people are moving to Austin because they think it has opportunity for them.
I mean, and they have proven to be right. I mean, unfortunately, you're right. You build it and they will come. I will say this. A lot of those downtown high-rises are empty. And I think that's one thing that I think locals can't figure out. It's like you're building you're taking up all this real estate. You've changed our skyline completely. You're blocking our green and our water for empty buildings. Like half of that shit is empty. It's empty.
Going back to something you started with and you've hinted at, Austin has built more housing and more affordable housing, and yet housing remains hideously expensive. And it's for many, many thousands of people in Austin, there is not a reasonable, affordable housing opportunity, including all the artists that you want and the musicians that you want. You're succeeding, but you're not succeeding enough.
Right. I mean, I think we're growing faster than we can keep up with. And, you'll hear some people say, especially our mayor, you'll hear him say, oh, yeah, I saw this, because our mayor now was also our mayor in the 90s. And you'll hear him say, I saw the growth coming. That's not true. We have no infrastructure to accommodate the quick and vast growth we're experiencing. And so people from other places that make more, their money still is going further here. So we have all of this influx of people with their money that's going further. And then the people here are getting, it's just like to accommodate, you're pricing out. So we can't keep up. It's like we're not keeping up with the way we're growing. And we waited too long to get our shit together, for lack of a better way to say it. Like you have downtown high rises that are empty. But, you get 300 of these ADU units in the back, but so what? It doesn't mean anything. It's like a drop of the bucket. We brag and say that 62% of the rental listings in Austin are affordable, but most of it is in the Eastern Crescent. The richer parts of town have their zoning on lock, so nothing is built over in the other side of town. And so if we don't open up the rest of the city for affordable housing, we're never going to catch up. And they are not willing to open up the rest of the city. That's it.
Well, that gets to sort of my next to last question, which is, you have these ideas, affordability unlocked, home, that have made a difference. But are there other ideas that people have for getting even more affordable housing built in Austin?
So, okay, right now we are doing equitable, it's called ETOD, also in all caps, equitable transit-oriented development. So it's a zoning policy that they're trying to pass right now. It allows buildings up to 90 feet in height along transit corridors, right? And they will include income-restricted housing. So this is for non-single family properties that are located within like a half a mile of this light rail we're supposed to be getting. that we've been supposed to be getting for a long time. But it also offers protections for residents that are already there and businesses that are already there, which again is supposed to help with gentrification, right? In 2018, voters approved a $250 million bond measure to help build and repair affordable housing. But we had money then. We don't have money anymore. So maybe things like that can be revisited, but that's all for now. That's all we have. We're not seeing anything else come up. So we're So playing catch up.
Well, even playing catch up, you're doing better than a lot of other cities. So what can Your City Can Be Better listeners take away from this to help make their city better?
Listen, if you're not already in crisis, or maybe even if you are, you got to start talking and building affordable housing now. Like, we wanted to hold on to this small, weird town identity, and we got caught slipping. And here we are playing catch up. So start advocating for underrepresented areas now. Don't let them be overly mined for resources. Think outside of the box of where your affordable housing can go. Spread your affordable housing out and start now. like now. Talk to your city council, do all of the things. It's amazing what you can get done, because you know who is at your city council meetings? Developers and lobbyists. They're there. So you should also be there.
Nikki, let's go to a lighter topic.
Okay.
The word on the street, as we call it here on Your City Could Be Better. So I want to talk to you about this question, which is walking in cities. So I feel like one of the biggest variations from city to city is on the question of how far would you walk to a neighbor's house rather than drive to a neighbor's house. So there are some cities, like in New York City, people will walk a tremendous distance, but then they'll literally never drive to a neighbor's house, like, because driving is impossible. Like, you can't even find your car. Your car is parked hours away if you have a car. But I suspect in Austin, you probably drive when you're going to your next door neighbors.
I mean, listen, David, we like our cars. And I don't know if you know this about me, but I do not like walking. I will walk. My limit is a half a mile. If you're longer than a half a mile, I'm going to hop in my little electric car and I'm going to scoot over to your house, because you probably have, it's too much. It's hot. We don't have good public transportation. If it's more than half a mile, I'm getting my car. And I don't think I'm alone in that.
Half a mile seems okay.
And I have to really love you. That's I need to also say that. Now, here we are way more likely to walk to a bar, because we have all these, like, we have this nightlife and stuff to do, but like walking to I don't know. You got to be pretty close. Maybe I'll take that back. Maybe a quarter of a mile, honestly, especially if it's hot. Quarter of a mile, maybe a couple of blocks. Otherwise, I'm driving.
It's getting shorter by the minute. It's like going to be 1 block pretty soon.
It's going to be 90 degrees.
You started with like 3 miles. We'll walk 3 miles.
It's going to be like 98 degrees soon. So you're lucky if I don't like drive to my mailbox. It's so hot.
Do you think you're exceptional, or do you think you're the average Austinite in that way?
I think I'm going to say it. I think I'm average. I think we are very dependent on our cars. Listen, my car is in the shop right now. I kid you not, right now as we speak, David, my car is in the shop. I have not been out of my house for 3 days. Because where am I going? Where am I going without my car? I'm not going anywhere. I'm not going anywhere.
Is that true?
That is absolutely positively true. I have been in my house for 3 days because I do not have a car. Where am I going? I'm not walking. It's hot. No. And I do not think I'm alone. Like, super hyper fit people, sure. Like, yes, fine. But like the rest of us, we're not trying to walk in this heat. No.
Nikki Devon, host of CityCast Austin, thanks for coming on Your City Could Be Better. But you had nothing else to do because you're just sitting at home.
I'm just sitting at home. I have nothing else to do. So thank you for spending time with me today.
That is all for today's episode of Your City Could Be Better. I am your host, David Plotz. You can listen to Nikki every weekday on CityCast Austin. Our producers this week were Lizzie Goldsmith, Priyanka Tilve, Nikki Devon, Eva Ruth Moravec, and Alyssa Castles. Our music is by Carl Christensen. And if you are enjoying the show, please tell your friends, rate the show, leave us a review. wherever you get your podcasts. We'll be back next week with another conversation about how your city could be better. Bye-bye.